I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Well, welcome back, and what a delight for us to have with us today John Stemberger. He's an attorney based out of Orlando, Florida, and he is the former political director for the Republican Party there in Florida. He's been a consultant with state races, federal races, presidential campaigns, and for the last several years he served as the president and general counsel of the Florida Family Action. And John, good to see you. By the way, when were you political director in Florida?
In 1991 and 93, actually while Jeb Bush was running the campaign of his then father, George Bush #1, I was running the political department in Florida.
Okay. I was Oregon's chairman for 4 years, 99 through 2003, so we probably didn't cross paths, but at the RNC. So when you're having a bad day, do you put that hat on behind you with a little twirly thing on it and take off?
That's a birthday dunce cap we keep around here when somebody has a birthday. So
nice to see you. Wow, what did you think of the debate Tuesday? You
know, it was remarkable. Just to see, I thought that, let's just jump in here. Trump was, I thought, as reasonable as I've ever seen him. I still think he's got a lot of problems that disqualify him from being president. But, boy, he sure seemed reasonable. He's playing to his audience. He knows who he's talking to. He's not bombastic and crazy. So he's really trying to sound presidential. I thought Rubio did an amazing job. Cruz did a great job as well. So I think you're seeing kind of emerging Cruz, Rubio, and Trump are the three people to really look at in terms of the long run. I like Ben Carson, very genuine, very sincere, very humble guy, but just don't see him being a player. And I think America is seeing that gradually as well.
What happened to Jeb?
Well, Jeb was strong. I mean, out of all the debates, and I've watched them all intensely, I thought Jeb did the best job. I mean, he showed the chutzpah to go after Trump. He was aggressive. Other than his opening and his closing, which was just really horrible. He just was falling over himself. His performance was amazing, and he was very strong, very aggressive, and I thought actually presented himself best I've ever seen him. But policy-wise, there's some major problems there with Jeb, and as a practical matter, he just doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's not resonating with the people, especially when you have guys like Rubio and Cruz and Trump in the mix.
All right. One of the hard things here, John, is people of faith are really struggling with Trump. I mean, he's made some statements about his faith and his conversion and confirmation. Then he's gone on and made fun of other people and their faith. He seems to be a bar soap in the shower on this issue. How are you handling it?
Well, I wrote an article entitled 3 Things Every Voter Should Ask Themselves Before Voting for Donald Trump. And first of all, you need to know what his political background is. I mean, the best indicator for a presidential candidate is not what they're saying now. It's what's their record. What have they done in the past? What have they said in the past? And since Trump hasn't been an elected official, we got to look at what he's said. This is a guy who's been a member of 5 different political parties, including the Democrat Party, for about an 8-year period. He switched parties back and forth. Now he's with the Republican Party again. And the most remarkable thing about the entire debate is that it showed that he's now flip-flopped a total of 4 times on the issue of whether or not he's going to stay a Republican and continue on in the race. Remember, he started out in the first debate saying, nope, he would not commit to the Republican Party. In fact, he said that he might run as an independent, and he didn't commit to supporting the Republican nominee. Then that's number 1. Then number 2, he flips. Weeks later, he signs the Republican pledge saying, okay, I'm going to be a Republican. I'm going to support the party. Then he flips a 3rd time just weeks ago saying, if you big Republican PACs run super ads against me, super PAC ads run ads against me, I'm going to run as an independent. Number 3, now number 4, he's come back home again. So this is a man that you really have, when somebody vacillates that quickly over just months period of time, you really have to ask the question, can we really trust this guy? I mean, he's obviously a rhetorical master. He's an entertainer. He understands how to work a crowd. But I just have real questions about whether we can trust him, given the fact that he's changed parties. He's given so much money to Democrats. He voted for Barack Obama, for crying out loud. How many people know that? And tweeted it out as if he were proud of it. And so these are really troubling facts that a lot of people that support him just don't even know.
Think things will change once we get into the caucus and primary states?
I don't know. It's fascinating. He seems to have a Teflon that no matter how hard you try to go after him, it doesn't seem to stick. People are so upset. They're so angry at the establishment. They're so angry at Republicans that have got in office and not done what they said they're going to do, not abide by the Republican Party platform. They're just almost looking for revolution. They don't even care what he believes on the issues. He's just looking to punch somebody, and that he's channeling their anger. And so he represents, to me, Trump represents the lowest common denominator of campaign ethics and what we're really looking for. And so but it's resonating because people are so angry at the years of being betrayed. So we've kind of created this monster. In addition, we've had 10 years of reality TV, right? And getting our news from Colbert and from guys like The Daily Show and Rush Limbaugh. So he represents the epitome of a reality TV entertainment candidate, right? So America's kind of created Donald Trump because of all the circumstances coming together.
Well, don't you think the chaos within the Republican Party has contributed to his surge? I mean, let's face it.
Well, absolutely.
I don't know where we're going as a party. I think it's so messed up. And now you got the big bill coming out. In fact, it just passed a few moments ago in the House. In spite of the amendments, people are angry at the Republican establishment.
Well, that's right. That's right. And so, yeah, no, part of the challenge is when you have a president in your party, he kind of becomes the titular leader. But not having a president for so many years now, it's just been difficult to kind of steer the party and have one voice to be the party's voice. And so, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I'm hoping that, voters just kind of look at Trump's record, because his record does not reflect a conservative, does not reflect a Republican, doesn't reflect anything you think that a Christian would be. I mean, I'm not trying to judge anybody, but this is a 3 times married casino owner who has strip clubs in his casinos. For the first time ever, a strip club's had it. He brags about having relationships with women all over the country. I mean, the kind of his record statements on women, calling them dogs and pigs. You're running against a woman, and if you don't think his 20-year history of derogatory and really vile comments about women are going to come back and bite you, it's just going to happen. And so, even if he gets the nomination, I think we lose, and I think all the polling shows that he gives us the best opportunity to lose against Hillary Clinton. And so, have at it if you want, but I'm not willing to put America's hands into a guy that's just going to sell us down. I don't think he can get elected, let alone where he stands on the issues. So it's really a disaster to have him as the nominee one way or another.
Often asked the question, do we really want Donald Trump giving a State of the Union address and speak before the UN?
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's just, it's a mess, but it reflects where America is. I mean, he is a reflection of the kind of profanity, the kind of, the resentment, the entertainment factor. He's all those things. And so it's, we've kind of created this monster, so to speak, and we're going to have to deal with him now.
All right, John, so Rubio from your home state seems to resonate pretty well, and so does Ted Cruz from Texas, 2 sitting senators. Now they're kind of bickering between themselves. I wish they wouldn't do that at this stage of the game, but they're doing it. Where do you think those 2 guys are going?
Yeah, both of them very quality candidates. Rubio, I think, he's the guy that's the most electable. I think Hillary Clinton has got to be shaking her boots if he's the nominee. He's fresh. He is the finest communicator in American politics, as far as I can discern. And so he's unflappable. And so, I think that Cruz presents kind of more of a Barry Goldwater, solid as a rock guy who's going to kind of burn the house down when he gets there. But I think that, Cruz has some real likability problems. He just kind of has a little bit of a creepy way about him. The sound of his voice is very nasal. He's not pleasant to look at or to listen to. And I hate to be that petty, but that's where America's at. And so, Rubio has a distinct advantage of being just an incredibly charismatic, dynamic guy, almost Reagan-like in his ability to cast vision and also to analyze the specifics of a public policy problem. But Cruz could resonate more against kind of Tea Party types. It's the colloquial wisdom is that, if Trump dies, some of his support could go to Cruz. That remains to be seen. Marco Rubio and Cruz were really not that far apart on policy, and even on immigration, they're not that far apart. And Rubio was trying to make that point. And so it's really unfair to kind of paint Rubio with this picture of, oh, he believes in amnesty, because really, Cruz believes in amnesty as well. And so he's trying to fend himself away. But Brett on Fox News did a great cross-examination of him, and Cruz is usually unflappable, but he actually kind of stunned him with some facts and some former comments that he made previously in the Congress about immigration.
All right, so you made the comment, Reagan, and I'll just play off of that. We understand that Trump is representing the contempt that the voters have against not only the established Republicans, but against Congress and the whole mess that we're in. And then you have Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio now kind of coming up in the numbers. Who inspires you like we were inspired with Ronald Reagan? Who out there on the stage inspires you?
Well, I'm not in a position to endorse a candidate, but just looking objectively as a political analyst, Rubio, I think, is the closest thing we'll ever see to Reagan in our lifetime. I mean, this is a guy who is young, he is handsome, he is winsome, he's principled, he knows how to cast vision in a very big picture way. He also knows how to analyze issues. And his command of foreign policy is second to none. There's nobody on that stage that has the kind of command. He knows all the facts and figures. I wonder how he does it. He must have a photographic memory because he's able to recall very specific information about each leader, terrorist threats. He's really remarkable. So I think that in terms of being in the dangerous world that we're in, his command of foreign policy, his understanding of the threat of radical Islam, all those things make him a very attractive candidate. And the fact that I think if he's up against Hillary Clinton, I think we're guaranteed to win. I don't know how we lose. But I think that, I think Cruz is going to have some problems with women in terms of likability. He's going to have some definite problems with Latinos. Those are the three big swing votes, is millennials, Hispanics, and women. And I think Rubio attracts all three of those naturally, where Cruz struggles with all three of those groups naturally. Now, Cruz is trying to do some things. He's trying to take off his tie whenever possible. He's got his little girls around him whenever it's possible. Even after the debate, he had the little girls with him. And he always tells stories about his daughters, even when the question doesn't have anything to do with his daughters. So that's smart on his part. But there's only so much you can do to kind of change who you are. And so, so you're asking me the question straight up. I think Rubio gives us the best chance for the White House.
Does Donald Trump attract women? He says he does. I don't think he does, and I don't think Hillary does. So where does the woman vote go to?
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends. I've heard some women, not many, but some say they like Trump. I think that, well, I tell you what, when his quotes on women come out, and they will come out in ads eventually, they're horrible. I mean, it's just, you can't even believe that he would, you can't even pass the FCC communication rules. I can't even repeat what Trump said about women, even collectively as a group. It's just really bad. In my article, which is on Newsmax, three questions every voter must ask before supporting Donald Trump, I actually quote, and that's all I do is I quote things that he's said, and it's pretty devastating. You think about attack ads, I don't know how you would survive, especially when there's more women voters than there are men in the United States. That's just kind of the reality of where we're at.
All right. Where can they get your articles? Over there at the Florida Family Action?
Florida Family Action, also at Newsmax. Just type in 3 questions every voter should know before supporting Donald Trump. Okay.
So if you were advising Ted Cruz, I'll take you off track a little bit. What would you tell him today?
Well, I think what he's doing is right. He's trying to soften his image. He's kind of looking more casual. He's talking about his family, his daughter. He's trying to talk slower. He just has a nasal way about him. I don't know if there's anything he can do about that. He just needs to be a little bit more kind of like less intense homeschool debate boy and just more like a human being that can be related to. He has kind of almost a robotic kind of lawyer. He's an appellate lawyer. I mean, this is a man who's argued cases for many years. And so he's kind of a jack the knife, hard edge. He needs to be softer. He needs to be, kind of more laid back and more likable. Maybe tell stories about his personal life and just not so just kind of, boom, 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 and like a tough guy.
I got about a minute left. Can you give us any insight? I think we know where Ted Cruz's faith is. We don't know a whole lot about Marco Rubio's faith. Can you enlighten us on that?
Yeah. Well, Rubio is a very a very committed Roman Catholic. But when he's in Miami, he actually attends a Southern Baptist church. And his wife, Jeanette, has led a Bible study for over 8 years. It's a Bible fellowship Bible study. You're familiar with that movement? And they're very deep, committed believers. He's been being discipled by a number of men over the years, national Christian men in ministry, and just has a remarkable grasp of theology. I mean, I've heard a lecture. He gave a talk in Iowa to pastors, and boy, he really understands the gospel. And it's really remarkable to hear a man communicate like that and think, gosh, this guy could be president one day.
All right. By the way, you can go to flfamily.org if you want to get in on some of John's writings. FL Family, that would be the Florida Family Action, but flfamily.org. Thank you, John. Let's stay in touch as we go down through the primaries. We're pretty late out here in Oregon. We're not until May. That's why Air Force One always flies over Oregon, never lands here. But let's stay in touch as we get into some of these caucus and primary states.
Sure, great. Appreciate you being on the show.
All right, see you later. We'll be right back.